Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline Proper. I am a Jungian depth coach focused on sexual shadow. And today we are talking about the shadow of incompetence. This has been coming up everywhere in my practice these days, so I felt like it was a really good one to go over in this video. And I got a lot of messages about the last video because I inserted an active imagination visualization to get in touch with your unconscious mind. So I'm going to do that again for this episode. So definitely hang out till the end so that you can do your own shadow integration around this if you find that you resonate with what I'm about to say. So basically, the shadow of incompetence comes up when we really fear being wrong. It's this deep fear of being seen as stupid, incompetent. This was actually one of my deepest shadows, so I have a lot of lived wisdom around this. And also, I'm working through this energy a lot right now in my coaching practice. So let's break down how this shows up, why it happens, and how you can reclaim this part of you so that you can live a fuller, less reactive life. You might have this shadow unconsciously running in the background and making unconscious decisions on your behalf if you experience some of what I'm going to talk about in childhood. So the first thing is, if you were a gifted child or you were praised a lot for being smart, you had to get straight A's, you had to be top of your class. A lot of your perceived value in your identity was centered around being competent. But also, this can happen if you, as a child, just really didn't have a lot of autonomy over your life. And yes, as children, we generally don't have a lot of autonomy over our life. But what I mean is that perhaps you were overparented, or perhaps there was a lot of trauma going on in your life circumstances that you felt very out of control of. So yes, let's go with the first one. You had a helicopter parent that really didn't let you bloom into your own person, would never let you make mistakes. Therefore, the idea of making a mistake seems so terrifying at an unconscious level. Or if you had any kind of like big T trauma when you were younger. So this could have been a death of somebody. This could have been a split of the family. This could be like a divorce. Children tend to over identify with the negative things that are happening around them as being their fault inherently, because this is when the ego is developing. So it's very ego focused. For example, I think some of you might know I also do death doula work. And whenever you're talking to children about a death in the family, you really have to drive home that they had nothing to do with it, because it will be their default state to be like, wow, this was my fault. So basically, something happened in your environment that you internalize as a young person as being responsible for, and specifically around events that felt like it took away your agency. A lot of times when these big events happen in our family system, the adults are very focused on themselves and aren't asserting what are your needs, or how do you feel about this, or what do you want to do. I currently have a client right now that had a lot of surgeries when they were younger and growing up that really took away a lot of their feelings of autonomy when they were young. So yeah, anything that happened that you felt like either was your fault, took away autonomy, something you didn't have control over that made the world seem chaotic. You might overperform competence or being good, therefore repressing this very feared incompetence or being wrong as a survival strategy. And then what happens is this goes in the unconscious and will come up in the way that we react to certain situations in our everyday life and also in our sex lives. So we're going to talk about that. So when this shadow is activated, it actually might spur things like aggression or fighting back. This might look like projecting, judging other people for being wrong, shaming others, devaluing others. This can happen in the bedroom. This is a common story of perhaps a man can't perform and then he kind of blows up at his partner, making it their fault. But it can also show up as avoidance when there is a situation at play that is making you feel perhaps wrong, incompetent, not knowledgeable. You'll try to get out of that situation or avoid anything that you might not be good at on the first try. The shadow really kills curiosity and creativity and the ability to just get in there and learn and make mistakes. So in sexuality, this might show up as someone that's avoiding intimacy altogether. And I've had this happen, and I am saying that some people do genuinely have the orientation of asexuality, but sometimes people will say that they're asexual when really they have a deep, deep fear of incompetence. And then even more shadowy than that is like the incel community. The incel community is deeply drenched in this shadow of incompetence. The other thing that can happen while facing the incompetent shadow is basically a freeze or a shutdown. Now, in everyday life, that might feel like not wanting to ask questions at that work meeting. It might look like a lack of self-trust and stepping up to do something, even though you know it's the right thing to do. In bed, this can look like disassociating from the sexual activity that you're having, or it can look like not speaking up and setting a boundary or asking for what you want in bed. Or a big one is also just asking your partner, hey, are you enjoying this? Hey, is there anything else I can do to make you feel good? Because speaking up like that or asking questions could perhaps trigger that feeling of, oh my gosh, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I am incompetent. And another way this can show up is overperforming, fawning, overdoing to make sure that nobody thinks you are incompetent. This is like high masking, the know-it-all kind of personality. This can also be a response to coming up against that shadow. Now, again, I said it a little bit earlier, but when we don't have this shadow in check, it can rule us in unconscious ways that direct our lives in ways that are undesirable to us. Because at the core, the shadow of incompetence shuts down vulnerability. And when you can't be vulnerable, you can't be seen. And if you can't be seen, you can't be known. And if you can't be known, you can't be loved. So how do we work with this? Well, first, you want to get down to the ego's fear of what does it think will happen if you are perceived as incompetent. And the ego, as we know, it's just trying to protect you. It's afraid that you're going to be rejected. You're going to be annihilated. People aren't going to love you. You're going to be judged. You're going to die alone, right? These are the ego's most common fears. So you need to ask yourself, what would open up for you if I did not fear appearing incompetent? And I do think neurodivergent people might have a little bit more sensitivity to this, like they talk about rejection sensitivity. But I will say for me, it was rooted in so many things. Like, yes, there were parts of my childhood where I didn't feel seen or heard or understood in the way that I needed at the time. I didn't have a lot of agency, but then I was also a college dropout. So in my 20s, I felt like I always had to extra prove that I was smart and my worth. And that example I gave of the gifted kid who was praised for their intelligence, I also had that. So there was a lot for me to unwind and unpack this shadow. So I will say the results of this are, yeah, I am able to be more vulnerable now. I'm able to be more curious. I'm able to try things, trial and error. And that's the thing is when you start looking at life as a playground and a learning space, it really opens things up. The shadow of incompetence keeps you very rigid. It steals joy. It doesn't allow for play. It doesn't allow for connection. So we're going to end this video with a visualization to help integrate this shadow of incompetence. And before we do that, I just want to let you know that I do have an absolutely free sexual shadow work guide that's going to be linked in the notes. I also have space on my one-on-one roster if you are interested in going deeper in the shadow work. But here we go. We're going to do this active imagination visualization. Make sure that you're in a place where there is no distractions, that you're not driving, and that you can really tap in. Close your eyes and take a few deep cleansing breaths. Feel your body relax. Feel a calming energy move from the top of your head all the way down to your toes with every exhale. Just let this wave of relaxation relax all of the muscles in your body as your body feels heavier and heavier as it just lets go. Sink deeper now into deep relaxation. Withdraw all your senses from the outside world. Turn inward, focusing in on the sound of my voice. Any external noise just takes you deeper and deeper into relaxation. You can focus and stay present with me as you go deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to imagine now that you're in a beautiful place. It's a relaxing, peaceful place, your own special place where you can be free to be you, a place to explore deeper aspects of your creative mind, understand yourself and your life, and to gain insight from your deepest, wisest self. I want you to imagine being in this place as you present your persona to the world, that sense of personality that you put out in the world, the person who is competent. And as you step into this place, I want you to imagine that coming towards you is another aspect of yourself that you do not allow in this world. A part of yourself that you've hidden away. Your persona does not allow you to express this in your personal and professional relationships, and it is unconsciously in the way of you living your fullest life. Allow this part of you to appear now, this incompetent part. Notice what they look like, what they're wearing. Pay specific attention to their feeling. They're holding a feeling that maybe you don't allow yourself to feel or that you suppress. And this feeling could be pleasant or unpleasant. What is the feeling they are holding? As you notice these two aspects of yourself split and divided, you see how hard it is to truly connect on a deep level with your ideal self, your true personality. To open up your heart and your mind to live your fullest life, you must welcome this aspect in. I want you to imagine now becoming one, the persona and the shadow. Notice if it happens instantly or if it takes some time. Notice if there's any hesitation. I'm going to pause for a moment while you allow this process to occur in your own imagination. Now, be patient with yourself. Even if you can just allow a little bit of them in, you can come back and continue this process the next time you do this visualization. Take your time, be patient, and allow whatever needs to occur in this session. Now that you've done this process, I want you to notice how you feel different. What changes do you sense within you? How do you see yourself? Imagine that this process is building an opening, a space in your heart for a more full expression of who you really are. As you accept yourself completely, all parts of you, you learn to be your full, true expression in the world. I want you to feel a beautiful light in your heart space expand all around you, allowing these two sides of yourself to integrate. Your unconscious mind knows exactly how to do this. Just relax and let the process of integration occur. Feel a sense of deep connection to the deepest aspects of yourself. Allow the past to melt away and the worries of the future to melt away as you are here in this moment, feeling fully connected, fully loved, fully accepted. You are strong and powerful, gentle and warm and creative. You allow a natural balance of yin and yang energy, of spirit and the human self. All the things you love and all the things you want to improve about yourself are perfect, perfectly balanced into one solid, powerful you. Allow yourself to feel that feeling. And anytime you want to feel this deep connection, all you need to do is say to yourself, power, and allow them to be integrated into your life, reclaiming this power. This is absolutely you who is wonderful. You have value and purpose. Every emotion, every situation, every part of you is processing and becoming who you really are each and every day. By accepting yourself, your heart is open to accept your true personality, to live your fullest life. Allow yourself to bathe in the wonder of your complete self. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes, come back into the room, take a deep breath, stretch, and smile. Okay, how was that for you? Please feel free to shoot me an email, share your insights, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, as always, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.